Hi guys, welcome back to a new video, and today I'm doing a Copic Speedpaint, and I decided to call this Ruby only because, well, first of all, this was supposed to be an art challenge, and as I was recording this video, I realized that I had 4 colors in front of me, and I just remembered that because how the line art came out, I wanted her to be a black character, so I decided to pull out a Copic that would, personally for me, would match the skin tone. So it was like a warm, dark tone, and unfortunately, the Copic that I was supposed to use for her hair and skin, it died, so I unfortunately had to grab 2 other markers, one that's a Copic marker and one that was a Hoo-Hoo. That's a weird marker brand to say. And yeah, that was a nightmare, but I like how the skin looks now. You guys will see later on in the video. It's more of like a warmer tone, and yeah, it just kind of sucks because I wish that I color swatched the Copics to see if any were dry or not. I did not do that. What I did do though, which I'm very happy about, was I did color swatches and I made sure to choose which color scheme that I liked. I believe I did on Procreate, and yeah, as tedious as that was, I'm glad that I did it, only because I usually don't do that, and I always get mad like why certain colors clash in with each other a bit too much. And that's basically everything, and I believe I showed you guys in the beginning of the video the sketch as well as the line art, and honestly those were very therapeutic to do. They both were done on Procreate, and I decided to go with a heavier line art only because this is a simple drawing, and I don't know, it just looked good, and I was like already deep in the line art that I was like, I'm not going to like change it. And yeah, now before I talk about the character, I want to address the cat, and this is because the cat has a whole different pose, and it was a pose that I picked, or thought that would look good based on what I imagine a cat would look like in my head. And as cool as the pose was, it was inaccurate, and so I got my lazy butt and went to Pinterest and looked up a cat reference, and I found one that I liked, and I attempted to capture the pose as best as possible. And yeah, it looks good now. I'm glad that I did that, because I was about to keep like the original pose, but it would look very kind of dumpy looking, kind of weird. And I want to try and like use references more with animals and stuff while keeping my fun artsy style, because I don't want them to look too accurate. I want them to look cartoony, but it's also important to use a reference, and that's what I did. And I also, let's move on to the character now. I decided to use a reference of her reading a book, and I looked up on Instagram. I forgot who the Instagram user was. If I remember, I'll link her Instagram down below. But I believe you guys noticed her before. She does poses, and you guys would see like them on Pinterest, I believe. And I think her name starts with a K. But yeah, I'll link her Instagram down below, because she is an amazing artist, and I follow her, and her poses are very useful, especially for someone like me who does not like poses and like using references. It really depends on like how motivated I am, because yeah. So anyways, back to the drawing. After like when I was coloring the line art, coloring with Copics, as I mentioned before, the hair the color I was using for the hair that was supposed to be for the skin, it was drying out, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was so annoyed honestly, because the color was perfect, but I changed it. It had to be done, because one thing about me is what I dislike about Copics a lot is that they get streaky, and I did not have a Copic refill, and plus I bought many of my markers. I bought it as a set, and it was on Amazon, and it was second-hand used, so I do not expect them to be all like full of ink and stuff. So yeah, and plus I haven't touched Copics in a long time too. I'm very spoiled when it comes to using digital art, and Procreate is like my main go-to. It's so convenient, it's so fun, and I use it for like comic work or any illustration. And I feel like when I started doing traditional, the only thing, the traditional drawings I do nowadays is like sketching in my sketchbook. I don't really like pull out my watercolors anymore, and I think because I spoil myself with digital art, because you know, you could just like remove, like if you mess up you could just like hit undo and everything like that, but you can't do that in real life, and it sucks. But yeah, and I was not gonna start over. And when it came to this illustration, I was not liking how the coloring was being presented, and I was like, you're not even done yet, keep going. And I feel like if I was doing this digitally, I would have completely scrapped the coloring phase and just recolored it maybe like the same day or a whole different day. So yeah, that was how my process in my head was going. I'm glad that I finished it though, and I like how the outcome turned out. I did have to, unfortunately, because some of the colors were kind of looking a bit wonky, I did have to take it and scan it, and then like change like some of the coloring, not too much, like change the temperature of some of the aspects. Like the reds were kind of like dull looking, the browns were too, so I changed it to like a more like warmer color scheme. I cannot talk. Yeah, and then I did like a sharp outline in Procreate. I removed like any like specks or dust that I see in the background, because the whole background I was not gonna color it. I thought about it. I thought about pulling out my Crayola airbrush. I still have it. It's still one of my favorite cheap art supplies ever. It's so convenient because I wanted the Copic one, but that is expensive. Like, and I'm like, I'm not paying that. So I had a lot of Crayola markers, and I bought the machine, and it worked. It gets the job done. So I could have pulled it out if I wanted to, but I didn't. So that's on me. But again, this was supposed to be like a challenge, but it didn't go through. So yeah, it's so weird that if this goes out, I hope that this gets posted on a Friday, well, this Friday actually, because I want to try and get back into making more videos. I always mention like how I keep wanting to go back, but I'm never like consistent, and then like the urge still comes back, and I'm like, just do it and trying to stay consistent if you can. I've been kind of slacking off, honestly, because I've been making digital art videos, and personally for me, I like them, but I don't think they're really good on YouTube, really, for me. And personally, I kind of miss doing traditional art and recording it like way back in the day. So I'm going to try, and even if it's like simple, easy drawings, like redraw challenges every Friday or something, I want to try and be consistent. And yeah, because with the digital art process videos, I feel like they're good like to show on Instagram or something. Personally, for me, I get bored while watching like Procreate time-lapse videos of that, or like my art. I don't know, so I don't know why I keep posting them, really. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I've been honestly working on my comic behind the scenes. I already have like the whole Tapastic banners down. Right now I am doing a character design sheet of my character Olivia, and she is turning out amazing. And I just realized, as much as fun I was having creating her, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do it for like 5 more characters, I believe, and that's gonna suck because I think I'm going to get bored of it. But if I keep on being consistent, I can get that all done, and then actually start drawing my comic, because I feel like that has to be done first before any drawing has to be done, because I want my characters to look accurate as possible, not just like a different like color scheme and stuff like that. I want like the height of the characters to be accurate and all that stuff. Yeah, there's a lot to do, but I'm going to try and take my time and not have a set date, and I'll notify you guys when the comic chapter 1 comes out. It might take maybe a couple months, maybe next year, but again, I'm not gonna pressure myself to like make it a race, because it's not a race. It's like a personal project, so I need to actually have fun with it, and it's all gonna be done on Procreate. And yeah, so let's see. I also pulled out, well, back to the drawing. I also pulled out some Posca pens, a black one as well as a white one, because I missed like the whole thick line art thing, and I feel like the line art I was giving, it wasn't really like, it was kind of soft, and I'm like, that's not me though. I like black line art a lot. I rely on it so much, so I used my Posca pen to go over the characters, and I used a highlight white Posca pen for the highlight. And honestly, I did have to fix some of the editing, like I said, on Procreate, because there were a few errors, especially with the Posca pen, the black one, because the tip was kind of like frayed, I guess. So there's like a lot of like, the line art kind of looked kind of weird, kind of streaky, I guess, not clean. So I had to fix all that, but it looks good now, and I'm actually happy how this whole drawing turned out. I think maybe for my next video, I actually might do like a challenge, and then I believe that might be the second to last Friday. And then for October, I'm going to focus strictly on Inktober, and I want the theme, if I could pull it, I guess, pull through, I don't know. If I could do that, I want the theme to be nostalgia. So every cartoon I grew up with, I'm going to try and draw the characters. And what makes that cool is each character is it's like a whole character design practice. So I draw characters in my style. So it's gonna be a lot of fan art, and I hope you guys are interested in that. I'm excited. I'm going to try and upload every day. That's the goal. So I should probably try and pre-record the videos early. They're not gonna be like, I'm going to try and make the videos not long, but I can't promise anything. So that's honestly it. Thank you all so much for sticking with me and my rambles. I swear I'll get better with commentary. Again, it's because I have not been uploading, so when I do commentary, I ramble way too much, and actually my mic died while I was recording, and it's annoying because I hate re-recording, and it's just like a hassle, and I hate it. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video next Friday. Bye!